Welcome back, everybody. So I told you that I'm getting ready to record another podcast video. This time I'm super excited because I wanted to not do something so formal, but just have a simple conversation with a dear friend of mine, Esther. Thanks for joining me here, Esther. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you for asking. I am so glad that I get to be here
Mhm.
with you, sharing this first time
Yeah,
moment with you.
yeah,
That's a blessing for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And
It is.
it's great. We get to experience it together.
Hmm.
Never done anything like this before, so this is
I
gonna be interesting.
I know. I was like, you were coming down to see me to hang out, and I was
Mm.
like, let's just record something. Let's do. There's a studio near where I live at, and I think it'd be fun. So I love that you're very receptive to my spontaneity because people that know me know I'm just like, let's just try this. So
Yes.
yeah. So I told you all we're gonna talk about friendship now. This is not an interview where it's like Q&A. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
conversation. So if you're watching this and you have questions, comment down below. If you're watching this on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, definitely let us know what your thoughts are on the topics that we talk about. We're not experts in everything. We're just sharing our opinions, and I think that it holds value, and I hope it can help somebody. So
It does,
yeah,
yeah. Our opinions, our experiences,
yeah,
because we are friends.
yes,
We
we are.
have other friends, been through friendships, they've ended. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
we can definitely talk about this
Oh yeah, for
100%.
sure, for sure. So, let's just start off with this big one, right? How do you define friendship?
Okay, so friendship to me is hmm, friendship, someone who's a friend. Friendship is based on trust, based on caring and support. So when thinking about friendship, my friend needs to have all of those qualities or in ways that I can, it's reciprocated back and forth. A lot of times when friendship is thought about, and the definition, it can get hairy for some people because they forget what it truly is,
Right.
and they're very careless of how they use the term friendship and how
Yeah.
they use the term friend. But what does friendship mean to you?
Yeah, I agree. Especially in that last part. When I think of friendship, I think family. I think family because for me, I didn't grow up with friend groups.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really grow up. I had family, but it was always just me and my mom and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I came across a person that I would think, okay, maybe we're going to the classification of a friend, I'm like, I want you to be a part of my life, not just a passerby.
Right.
So, and I think, call me deep, but that's the first thing I think about when I think of friendship is people that contribute to your life. You can contribute to their lives,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't hold all these rules over each other
Mm-hmm.
because we don't do that to our family, right? We don't usually do that. We have expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and we show up for each other in different ways, whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever they may be. These are aspects of friendship that go through my mind when I think of it. So,
Yeah.
what?
I
Yeah.
definitely I agree with that 100%. I often like to think of one of the quotes. I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember it
Right.
word for word, but it's like friends are your chosen family.
Mm,
So you get to pick and choose who you're adding to your family, and those
yes.
are oftentimes your closest friends.
Yeah.
They stick closer to you than some family members even do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It's funny. I want to ask, like, friends. Oftentimes friends show up for us much better than family do.
They do.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand why family. You know what it is? Maybe they feel like they're not obligated as much because
I was just thinking
we grew
about
up
the obligation
together,
part.
or I did this for you, or we're
Mhm.
family. So what's the point? And they don't feel like they need to do anything else other than just exist because they
Mhm.
automatically have access to you. But I think it's important that our family like show up for us like that. But friends, a lot of times, I think they don't take you for granted because I think they have a sense of I can lose you. Do you
Yeah.
think so?
I agree with that too, and it's also the part of I chose you.
Yeah.
I chose
Right.
you, you chose me
Right.
back.
Right.
It's not like we were born into this world and you're automatically my friend.
Right, that's true.
Just how you were talking about taking for granted, because we're automatically born into our families.
Mhm.
Like, they're our family no matter what. That's my aunt, that's my uncle, that's my sister, that's my brother,
Yeah.
whether I like it or not, kind
Right.
of thing. But it's like, this friend,
Yeah.
you, I
Yes.
chose you.
Yes.
I chose you. I want you here. Like, I want to make sure that I'm there for you, and that in
Yeah.
the times where I'm low, that I can rely on you to be there for me too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good. No, you know what I thought of just now is the fix to that is choosing your family. Like think about
I
it.
mean, that's what we are.
But like no,
Like,
like so you said like you're born with the family you have,
hmm
but our friends choose us and we choose them. So all
hmm
you have to do is choose your family too. For example, like I'll show up for you a certain way because you're
hmm
my friend and I want to be there for you. If I have that same mentality toward my relatives, the people that I grew up with,
hmm
which a lot of people don't, then I'm also choosing you. I'm choosing to show up for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's that choice aspect. I think we should all apply to everybody in our lives that we care about. But it's weird, especially on social media. That's a whole different
Yeah.
can of worms. You know, this is true. Like the strangers, the most supportive, it's almost like a spectrum. You
hmm
have one side of the spectrum is least supportive people in my life, and support is like looks like different things.
hmm
You have the spectrum on the low end, and then you have the very, very supportive.
hmm
It almost goes like the people that are the most furthest away from you, whether they're a stranger, they're on the higher end of supporting you,
A
and
lot
then the
of
people that are
times.
closer to you are on the lower end.
hmm
Why do you think that it's like that?
That's a great question. It could be because sometimes when it comes to family, and I'm thinking really like your household family right
Yeah,
now, they see a lot more than your actual friends
yeah,
do. So if they've seen you struggle with something for such a long period of time and
yeah,
you're still trying to work on building something that's related to it, that's when they're over here having negative thoughts,
right,
thinking like, oh, you're never gonna do this or you're never gonna do that, because they see all these other little things and whatnot. However, the person on the outside looking in and having these conversations with you, and you may have shared these experiences with them, sometimes they may have not been there when, all of you trying to work on other things is happening. So they're like, they're more accepting to what you're doing and what you're trying to
I
do,
see. Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah, they're more open-minded
Yeah,
because they have less preconceived notions about you.
exactly. And that's the other thing when it comes to family is like, back to them choosing and
Yeah,
whatnot. When it comes to family, sometimes instead of looking at the individual,
right.
they're looking at the long lineage of people that come with you.
Mm,
So it's not just like, oh, I'm choosing EJ. No, it's like,
right.
it's EJ, but then I'm thinking about his father and what he did to
Yeah.
me and how that affected my kids and all this other
Yes.
stuff, and then they
Yeah.
banish you.
That's true. Like
And
Zuko.
you did nothing. You did absolutely
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's really true. It's so sad that we hold stuff over people innocently. You know,
hmm
not to go on a tangent, but with family, you know, that's a very common Lord, this topic, right? But like that's the very common thing where the youth of the family, of the generation suffers for the actions of other counterparts surrounding the person.
hmm
If you're watching this and you looking at your child, your nephew, your sibling, whatever, through the lens of someone who you don't like or someone that hurts you,
hmm
be fair. Everybody is different. Everyone's experiences are different. You can live in a household where every single person has different beliefs about every single thing.
hmm
Like that's a reality. So I think that people need to stop holding stuff over each other and saying, well, you're just like your father
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you're
oh
just
my
like your mom.
gosh.
Like, saying it, we're going to leave it there. But I was going to say,
I heard the Caribbean
you heard
part
the
coming
Caribbean
out.
part,
Like,
yes.
it is,
So
yeah.
this is, that's one way we connect is that we're both Jamaican. And yes,
Yes.
I'm light skinned, but I'm Jamaican. But, so you understand that's a
hmm
common, we love and respect our elders, but it's an experience that oftentimes Caribbean kids experience
hmm
where, and everybody else too, but we have to pay the price for the ones that came before us. And I'm constantly reminded of, I didn't choose this.
hmm
I didn't choose to be here. You didn't choose to be here. So we should never have to suffer for the experiences and the bad choices of the past, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Would you feel the same?
Yeah. Especially things way beyond our control.
Exactly.
Like, even the things that we did have control over, there's still that aspect of forgiveness and, like, not holding on to it and
Yeah.
letting go. Of course, it's easier said than done, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like giving people grace. Like,
Grace.
you want it, give it back. Let's go.
100%. 100%.
Give it.
That's good. That's good.
But what I do want to say,
Yeah.
because we did get sidetracked with the
Yeah.
family part,
Yeah.
but bringing it back, like, I can remember, like, my favorite, I have a favorite cousin.
Uh-oh.
I'm not supposed to have favorite people, but I do.
Hopefully
I
watch
do.
this.
But, like, my cousin that I'm really close to, I would consider her more of my friend than a cousin.
You'd be like that.
And I saw a post the other day, and it was like, your cousin was your first friendship.
Yes, that's true. That is true. I not to interject, but I experienced the same thing. I have 3 older sisters, and we're close. We were close, but my cousins was like, I guess because they're kind of far and they're distant from you, kind of, but so they feel like a friend when you see them. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Yeah. If you didn't grow up around the same area, whenever you
Yeah.
connect, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm going to my cousin's house. We're going to have a sleepover. Like, this is going to be great.
No, truly, like my cousins were my friends, like as a kid, so that's so fascinating. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now this is where I want to get personal a little bit.
Oh.
What does my friendship mean to you?
Oh my
And we've
God,
known each other for a
DJ.
few years now. So,
We have.
and what has it been like? So what does it mean to you to be my friend? And what has your experience been like? You can be honest.
I'm going to try not to cry on this one.
Uh,
Okay. So, EJ, your friendship means a lot to me. I know that whenever we have our conversations, I don't have that much to say,
Yeah.
but I feel like you fill in a lot of what I want to say, and you're able to find the words to do that. Oh God.
Go make me cry too.
Being in the part of our church, First Church, right?
Yeah.
I struggled for a long time to make friends with the youth in the church.
Yeah, for sure.
You were this random person, like, we were part of this group chat for the Youthful Voices at one point, and you were, to me at the time, you were this random guy from Florida who wanted to be part of the group, and most of us were based in either Philly, Jersey, or New York, right? You coming in and me meeting you was like, this is finally what like a friendship that I want. Like, of course I have friendships with my girls, but like to have a friendship with you being a guy and everything just being okay and nothing crazy is going on, like that was, it felt as though now I have my older brother, kind of, even though I'm still older than you are, but only by like what, a few months, whatever. But anyway, it's like this is a guy who I can have in my life who can teach me certain things that I can rely on. Who, even like when I'm having guy troubles or whatever, I can go to you and talk to you about it, and you will tell me things straight and be like, Esther, why are you talking to him? You need to stop. Like,
that's true.
Or like, don't even think about going back.
I will do
like,
that.
You saw everything that happened. Like, don't do that. And you're like, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're right. And then the way that you treat my sisters as if they're your sisters and the connections there, like, I'm so grateful, and I don't want to ever lose you. Ever. I would be devastated. I would. Like, if we were ever to like break up as friends, I would have to take off from work because that would be crazy.
She said, "Stop making money."
But, exactly. No, really, because your friendship to me is so priceless. It's really priceless, and I'm not saying all this stuff just to like. No, like, I'm being for real.
That means so much to me. I want to say thank you for saying all that, because it's almost like a beautiful letter. That's how that feels. If you've ever gotten a beautiful letter like that, it means a lot that my friendship is valued by you. I want to say
Mhm.
that because I haven't always experienced that. Sometimes when you have a lot of good to offer people,
Mhm.
they kind of just flip the page on you, like, and so I've experienced that with you, that you value my thoughts. That's why I'm so open to giving you my thoughts, because I feel like I can go on those rants and you're just like, no, 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 it's okay. Because I'm the kind of person, even
Yeah.
earlier, we were
Yeah.
talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. But you're like, no, like, just always reassure me, in
Mhm.
our friendship. And I am just so grateful. So thank you so much for that. And
Mhm.
I would never want to lose you as a friend too. If we ever had a bitter falling out, I would want to do everything I can to fix that, and
Mhm.
put my effort into it. So, I love you a million times more. I want to give my little story
Yes.
too. So don't hate me for this, but I can't remember the first time we spoke. I can't remember that first day, because
Mhm.
it's like the wealth of our time together has been so rich for me that I just remember things.
Mhm.
That's how it is for me. Like, there's so many people I've known that I can't remember that first day, but I
Mhm.
just remember things that I've experienced with you throughout the time, because it's been so valuable to me.
Mhm.
But I do remember, um, I believe when I met you, it was with the host of your sisters, so it wasn't
Mhm.
like I met your sisters later on.
Mhm.
And I just knew that one, I what stood out to me is that you had such a kind air about you to
Mhm.
me. And one thing about me is too, you are very soft spoken and very reserved when we're in public. And ironically, that's something I
When
gravitate to.
we're in public.
Yes, when we're in public. Y'all don't know. Okay. No, but when we're in public, you carry yourself with such grace. Even behind closed doors, you still carry yourself with grace, and I can
Mhm.
tell. When you're with me, you're not like this wild child. But I just remember you. I gravitate to people that are a little bit more less energetic and outgoing than me, and so I think that's one of the things that connected me to you, is that, like you said, those areas where I fill it in. I've
Mhm.
always been that way. I really like the people that make me feel like I can fill in something there, and it's
Mhm.
like a good balance. So I just remember, like, us going on so many different journeys together. I mean, we went through, I was teaching you vocal
Yes.
lessons.
Oh my gosh.
um I mean, there was so much we had done and started. And I think the one thing that I think about when I think about my experience with you is the safety that you provide for me too. I've gone through a lot, going through a lot,
Mhm.
and you always, I mean, to find somebody that you can trust, that you can trust, that is a very rare experience. I had to
It
stop on
is.
that, because the things that you've shared with me, for a fact that that's going to be there. Do
Yeah.
you get what I'm
It's
saying?
dying with EJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dying with EJ.
No, literally, because I see you like my sister,
Mhm.
and the older I've gotten, there's been distance between my older sisters, now that I'm an adult. And so it feels like I get another chance to reconnect with someone. And just, again, that trust factor is so important to me. And you've been healing to me as well.
Oh.
Seriously, because if you don't have somebody in your life that I believe talking to God is the ultimate thing that can bring you peace and going before him. But having somebody on earth in the flesh that you can talk to and know you can get comfort is just so priceless. So I can't outdo you, because you gave me so much that I'm gonna just sleep tonight and be like floating and hovering over my on my bed,
Oh my
because
goodness.
I'm just so grateful. But I just want to let you know that I tell you all the time, but
Yeah, you do.
I do,
Yes,
because
you
that's one thing
do.
about me. I'm gonna just say this too before I end this point. If I'm friends with you, you will have to hear me tell you I love you all the time. Not
Mhm.
every day, every time we talk, but you're gonna hear it from me often. I'm
Yeah.
that kind of guy. Am I not?
You are. You are.
You're
He's
gonna
not lying. He's
you're
not
gonna have to
lying.
hear it. So I just want you to know I love you, and you mean the world to me. You do.
I love you too,
Yes.
EJ.
So, um, now let's pivot a little bit. What are some misconceptions you can think of, like, to friendship? Like, what are things that people think friendship is entails, but it really doesn't? Like,
I think um a lot of okay, some people when they think about friendship,
yeah,
um they think about aspects that actually pertain to an acquaintance.
Mm.
So they'll call someone their friend only with someone that they've seen in passing or they
Yeah.
know a little bit about
Right.
and whatnot. People think that you can have a friend and not be able to trust them. I do not agree with that.
Really?
I do not agree with that at all.
Oh.
And if you and if that's what you think a friend is, you need to have a wake up call
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
rethink that because you're in a bad
Right.
relationship.
Can I ask really
Go
fast?
ahead.
Like, I a lot of times think people that throw the term friend so loosely to people are people desperate for friendship. Because, like, do you think that, you know, for example, like you said, an acquaintance and a friend is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people go to this day, since I was young, be like, oh, that's my friend. Elijah, we're friends, we're best friends. And I've told you, we've talked about this before. I cannot sleep at night thinking you're my friend and our experience is not that of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you think that it's the desperation that people just throw the friend title to somebody that they kind of talking to or like a little bit?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know.
Um, Possibly it
Okay.
could be because they want to be seen as someone who has a lot of friends
Oh, okay.
too. I mean, that goes along with what you were saying about
Yeah.
someone who's desperate for a friend,
Yeah.
but they may have not even experienced what a real friendship is.
Mm,
So that's why they're confused as to what a real friend is as well.
mm.
Similar to love, when people use love,
Yeah.
like
Big time.
it's like, do you really know what love is?
Yeah.
Have you experienced that yourself to know what love is? Or because you've heard the term used a lot, you can just use it however you want.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different levels to all of that.
I
For sure.
agree. I agree. I think that you're absolutely right. It's like a sense of there's different variables I think that go into that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm very big on too, like to just kind of piggyback off of that is I what you said about people if you don't have you never if you've never experienced a real friendship, you can't really say you can't really define it. You don't have a standard for yourself set. And I
Mm-hmm.
think and I want to touch on this particularly because I've talked about it a few times on my Instagram, male to male friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Man to man friendship looks very different than man to woman friendship. And
Mm-hmm.
sidebar, we don't call women females. She is a woman. She is a lady. That's proper vocabulary because I can't imagine me sitting here calling you this female.
Right.
I mean, am I?
Automatically, whenever it's used, it's like you're trying to use it as a cover up for
Yeah,
another word that is so
yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
Where you're
yeah.
like,
And you know what's funny, Esther, is like I hear that, and this is super sidebar, but we're gonna drag it for we're gonna drag it for a quick second. Um, when guys will always say, "Well, it's what you are," and in the society we live in now, where you have to be
mm-hmm.
very careful with how you mince words because they'll cancel you, all the things, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But what's the term female is a scientific, like it's a word to describe specific things that
Mm-hmm.
like fish, they're female dogs, there's species that it's a broad phrase. So
Yes.
when you're referring to a human woman with a soul, like that's why it's important because I this is what I firmly believe. There's
Mm-hmm.
no valuable, smart, quality woman that's going to take a man telling them, yes, this female I'm talking to, and actually take them serious and
Yeah.
respect them. So I just want to touch on that for the guys and sisters and the ladies. Don't males, females. We're not creatures. We are, but we're
Mm-hmm.
humans, and
And
we
it's like, are you confused? Can you
yeah.
not tell if I'm either like a girl or a woman? Do you know the difference between girl, women, and lady? Okay, let's not
Yeah,
even get
okay,
into
that's
that.
all.
But
But
like,
but yeah, what's my
we
here's
were
my
talking about um the
oh
nuances
yes,
of
yes. So
friendship.
male to male friendship,
Mm-hmm.
male to male friendship looks so different than male to woman. And one thing when you mentioned about knowing what friendship is, I've thankfully I've been able to learn the dynamic between my friendship as a man with you as a woman because
Mm-hmm.
there are certain subtle, silent things you should understand to have a friendship with a woman that you don't necessarily have to have with a man, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
certain differences we share that I have to respect so it
Mm-hmm.
can work.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so that me personally, it's never been an issue. That's why you've had probably male friends before that it failed because they don't understand the dynamic of what it takes to be a friend and respect a woman and different dynamics. So it's like you're just like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of people out there who really think that
Yeah.
that men and women can't be friends.
And that's what we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that, but let's hold this right here for a sec.
Okay.
But when I've been blessed to connect with really cool guys recently, and it's different for me. Like I've never been able to find other guys that I connect with because I'm, no disrespect, but I'm not shallow. Like I'm just not. And
look, if you were shallow, we wouldn't be friends. But that's not gonna work.
She understands this, and this is not to say that you have to be so well spoken, have all these thoughts, do all the things. No, there's some people that's very low key, very chill. All they are good at is what they're good at, and all they like is what they like, and that works for some people. But for me, the game is not enough. Does that make sense? The basketball isn't enough. It's just, that's not enough for me to form a solid connection with a person. Even my own interest is not enough. I'm a music head. Like I love talking about music, but that alone is not enough.
You need both together.
Listen, right. So it's like that's not enough for me to bond with because a lot of guys they make their friends on the court or on the game, and that's just never been enough for me.
And that's really like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even then,
yeah,
like, if you're friends only on the court and only when you're talking about basketball, are you really friends?
That's my point. Yeah,
it's really just like an acquaintance, really.
Yeah,
because you connect on just I don't know. Okay.
No, yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say that's true. Like that's there's different kind of friends to a person. There's some people like you got your homeboy in the court, and then you got your homeboy at school that you may be more close with. So I understand the different dynamics of friendships, right? Everybody don't need to be hugging up in a circle and diving into the deep emotions of each other. There's dynamics like that, but I think that it's important to explore other areas of yourself mentally, emotionally, especially as a male friendships. But that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day because it's just. But anyway, I wanted to touch on that too, though. Like why do you think people keep having these drawn out conversations about men can't be friends with women for real? Like these are big conversations people have, and I disagree. By the way, I think men and women can be friends. You just have to do it differently in certain ways. Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like I don't know. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, the same just said, hold on.
When it comes to men and women being friends, sometimes I feel like, and of course, like I don't know for sure because I don't really talk to people about that part. Yeah, but it may come from the fact that like you can't men a man and a woman can't be friends together without eventually like liking each other and like wanting to be together. But the thing is that whether it's a woman and a man, whether it's a woman and a woman and a man friendship, you like each other. Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, that's a big part of it is to like each other. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna like certain things about the other person and like think about the things and whatever, and it's like that's fine. That's normal. Right. It's normal. Yeah. Normal. Okay?
Normal. Somebody remix that. Normal. Not as playing.
But yeah, I don't.
I mean,
what are the other things?
I was gonna say I want to push back on that a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm Elijah, so if you didn't know, I keep it real. I do. The sex aspect, that looming sexual air, I think is what people are referring to really when it comes to men and women dynamics. Do you think that's a big factor in that? That they, especially because if let's say we're married and I have a female, woman best friend. Look at me. Look at y'all. What's happening? No, but look, like if I had a sister best friend, I wouldn't want to be with somebody that, is insecure, whether, or whatever. But that's one of the reasons why some people, especially women, have made the argument of that you can't have a male best friend as a woman or whatever, because they there's that possibility of a attraction, physically speaking, that they assume that you wouldn't have, if you were just male and male, whatever. So isn't that a thing to this driving conversation?
It is a thing,
Because it
but
can happen.
it's also like it can happen when you're looking at somebody in the street too.
That's true. I mean, but
right?
okay, so like, so this is my thing, right? Do you think you can be friends with a man, or I could be friends with a woman, or whatever, and you be attracted to them physically, but restrain yourself as far as the respect factor, and that be how it functions? Or do you think that because of that aspect, you shouldn't deal with the person if you can't? You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, like, I have very beautiful friends. I have very attractive friends. So, I mean, I'm not going to just look for friends that are unattractive to me just so I can avoid that possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's these little nuances I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I want to answer that.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, of course, I believe I can have a friendship with a guy and him be physically attractive to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And still keep my cool.
Right.
And know that this is my friend.
Okay. Do you think it's the same for men though?
I'm not a guy.
Well,
I can't speak on that one.
Have you? Okay. Well, I guess
feel like I can't speak on that
I
one.
guess I would say that it just depends. That's what I'm saying. I don't like to box everybody in, because that's what people do in these large conversations. They say men can't this, woman can't that, and it's like,
did you try it?
Right.
Do you know for yourself?
right. And no, I was just gonna say that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna piggyback and say, like, it's definitely comes with the experiences and stuff. Right. Because I'll tell you one thing. There's men out there who are definitely attractive. I have friends, guy friends, who are attractive, right? But some of the things they do is so annoying that I'm just like, I'm not going that far with you. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
No.
This is one reason why I like you a lot, because you're not simple. Like, looks don't do it alone. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're saying. It's
true. I'll be the one to tell you, oh, that's eye candy. Like, he looks great. 100%. But for me to
no. And that's the thing I want people. I was thinking about that, actually. I woke up I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm like a nonstop poet, because I literally woke up thinking that thought about how I'm so grateful that I don't have looks are not it for me. There are people that are like that, where they will be disrespected. They will be complicit with whatever wrong a person does simply because they're attractive. That is true. I've heard studies about that, where, like, they have the pretty privilege thing.
Yeah.
That is true. We talked about that before, but that's a whole different. Oh, we got like 50 different conversations in one. But it's very real. Like, I think that whether or not a person is attractive or not, if you really do value, and even if it blossoms into a relationship, that's fine too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's great because look, old timers will tell you, you need to be friends first before you get to that romance relationship stage. And I honestly do believe that friendship level of relationships prepares you a bit for what you're going to get into when it comes to the romance relationship part of it. Because you're learning, especially if you have a guy to girl type friendship that you already have, because you're learning more about what a man is and all the things that he cares about, and then he's learning more about a woman, all the things that she cares about and stuff, and you're not worried about breaking up or getting married. Like, you're really just being yourself and being able to, like, figure all these things out. So yeah, I really do think that the friendships are definitely a foundation for those relationships that you want to have outside of that.
Yeah, agreed. I guess, and I do want to know too, like, for me, making friends it's getting easier, or I don't seek out, like, I don't have a list of, like, I want this many friends, or that's not real, right? But there are people that I've met that act as if they can only have one best friend, or
Mhm.
they kind of close themselves off to. I often think about how I was going to ask you this too. Like, have you ever experienced the feeling of you're the blessing someone blocked in their own lives? I have.
I'm the
Over
blessing
since
someone blocked.
Yeah,
Oh.
like as a friend, like haven't you met somebody that it didn't work out because they kind of fumbled you?
Mhm.
I experienced that when I was
Mhm.
younger. Even to now, I experienced that, and that's okay because everything is meant to be. That's meant to be.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think to myself, like, what am I doing wrong? That um not clicking, as far as certain people that I've met since I was in school to now,
Mhm.
like, but I've had to teach myself that it's not what's meant for you is meant for you. And
Mhm.
also there's that mutual connection. You have to both click, I think. But
Mhm.
have you experienced that? I've experienced that.
I can't remember a certain time
Yeah.
that this happened, really. I'm sure it probably has,
Yeah.
but think about it, I don't really know.
That's
But
understandable.
but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily like clearly there ain't nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like you said, everyone's not for everyone,
Right.
and it's also sometimes when it happened, it could really just be it could be a character flaw in
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Yeah.
or yeah, just something like that, or them hearing some ridiculous rumor about you
Yeah.
and believing something out, believing
Yeah.
it and stuff, and then it's like, well, if you're gonna do that, you don't deserve to be my friend,
That's true.
kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
there's those
Yeah.
pieces.
Did you have any thoughts for me?
Yes, I do. So, what are your thoughts about the correlation between friendship and mental health?
Hmm. I think that I don't think this is where people. I don't think you need to have your mental health all the way. You don't need to be at this pristine level of mental clarity and mental health and perfection to
Mm-hmm.
be qualified to be a good friend. I think that your friends will tend to your mental health and you will tend to theirs in its right timing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so for me, one of my best friends, we had a conversation one time, and I explained that sometimes I want to make sure, because sometimes when I have my really bad days, I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen to, like, if you're like really excited about something and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through a really hard time, I want to be there for you, but I want you to know ahead of time that, okay, on those days that I'm really, really low mentally, emotionally, be understanding. It's not you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that I'm tired of you. It's just I'm going through this hard time. So you kind of navigating that with me would be helpful to me.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, okay, I understand. So when we had those experiences where I'm really like, hey, what's up? Like I'm FaceTiming and I'm trying, and I see that she's really stressed out, that I'm going, all right, let me just turn my volume down of like
Mm-hmm.
energy Elijah, so I can facilitate her mentally, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So that's where I think mental health and friendship go hand in hand, is because there are some friends that they literally only want to kick it with you when you're both like up and up and up and up and up. But when you're going through really emotional things that take glove handling,
Mm-hmm.
then they're like, all right, oh, I'll call you back, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I still need you, and
Yes.
to take a real sharp turn really fast. I believe in this. If God forbid, if your friend jump off a cliff, did something to themselves, and you neglected them, you should feel bad.
That's.
You should feel bad,
Mm-hmm.
because you should forgive yourself. Yes. You shouldn't hold on to the hurt and the pain. Sure, if you even
Mm-hmm.
have any sort of pain from that happening to your friend. But at the same time, you should feel bad that you did not do enough. Because if you were able to, especially because some people they can't show up emotionally, they can't show up mentally at all. So
Mm-hmm.
fine. But if you're able to disperse that to somebody in your circle of friends, and you neglected somebody you knew, you should feel bad. You should feel accountable that when they reached out to me and said, hey, I'm just not really feeling down to go out to the birthday thing tonight, I'm just looking into it a little bit more, could have been something you did.
Mm-hmm.
And because they just weren't that important to you, or they were just that person when you were up, you just wanted to kick it with them. But when they're down, okay, I'll catch you later. You're your portion is you're holding a portion of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. Do you think that?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. That is a very hard saying, and
It is.
that's a little
It is.
ticker there, but
It is.
no, it's very true, and I love what you were talking about as far as like the friend that only wants to be there when
Yes.
times are good,
Yes.
and it's like that friendship should definitely be reevaluated. But recently, I've experienced those things as well, where it's like I'm clearly communicating to you.
Right.
I am not in my best mood right now.
Yeah.
I need a moment to talk later or whatever. Or even if I am sharing some hard things
Yeah.
to a person about what's going on in the friendship, it's like, oh, I don't know what kind of mood you're in right now, but this is not it. And it's just like,
You serious?
I'm like, how many tries do I give someone before I'm
17
just like,
oh man, how much is that? 17 times 400. Not a point.
490.
Yeah, no,
But
that's insane.
yeah, no, it's for real. And it's like,
That's very selfish.
Look,
That's
and
very
it's the
selfish.
fact that look, first of all, I'll let y'all know. Okay. I was not the best at communicating. I'm still working on that.
Same.
I want to actually talk about that too.
Okay.
But
let's do it.
for me to be able to clearly tell you exactly how I'm feeling and what I need in that moment, and for you to like turn it back and be like, well, I don't know what kind of mood or attitude or whatever, and it's clearly not an attitude or mood or anything against you, and for you to say something like that, ooh,
Yeah, it's triggered.
be weird.
No, I get that. I guess that's a part of gaslighting. I mean, the phrase that they use now where you kind of minimize what a person is expressing. But that's very deplorable.
Yeah.
That's very deplorable. And it's very selfish. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Because when you are going through the hard stuff, you're going to want people to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing about it. That's one thing about me too, Esther, is like, I'm grateful. Growing up, this is connected to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, my mom, she was, we've had our ups and downs, but I always have to reflect to the things she taught me and the nonverbal things she taught me, because I learned nobody is so valuable or so unvaluable. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you have to treat everybody like just with enough care and passion. And that is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, where people have emotional bandwidth for people they want to have the emotional bandwidth for. And that's the kicker. That's the one thing I can't stand with the friendship that's going on nowadays, where the value you hold to me as a friend and how much I will care about your issues is equal to the worth that I think you have.
Yep.
Hello? I mean, is that not the truth? Like, that's the truth. I always talk about this with you and others, that people will always have enough room somehow, enough emotional space, enough mental space, enough time for the things and people that they truly do value. So that experience, just to give my little unasked for opinion, that is a proof that this person may not be a bad person, because we don't villainize people, because listen, go ahead, be great, thank you Jesus. But at the same time, it's a reflection of what you mean to them. It's either that they don't value you as a person, or they're just really dumb. Like, some people are just really incompetent, that they can't read a room at all. Like, there could be a giant parade float in the room with them, and they think, oh wow, this is a really big vacant room. Like, they can't tell the boulders right in front of them, you know? So I'm sorry that you experienced that.
You want to hear the next part?
Next part 2. We got enough time.
The next part is during this conversation, it's like, well, whenever I'm talking to you and we're on the phone, I'm always giving positive energy. Right. Doesn't matter whatever I'm going through or whatever, I'm always giving positive energy. So why is it that when it comes time to this, you can't give that back? And it's just like, wow. So I'm not allowed to feel. I'm not allowed to process my own emotions and my feelings the way I need to do that.
They for the streets. Okay.
I'm just like, oh wow, this is
That
crazy.
is.
And then you want to know why I don't call you best friend, and you want to know why I don't call you friend. Like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
because you're showing me right now that you can't fill that space of
No.
what I need in a friend. So
That's
no,
just
no.
so selfish. Like I can't fathom that. Like, and again, whoever they are, they're fumbling you. They are fumbling you big time,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, we're gonna close it up. But yeah, I think that's very telling. But you've had experience after experience, and the older we get, the easier it is to navigate when you're
Mm-hmm.
aware. Like some people, they just go through life and they're just whimsical, like, oh, they're just getting swept up by life, and they're just going through, either if they're super popular and their dynamic with friends looks different than someone that's really kind of not, nobody cares about them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever dynamic you have to pay attention to things. You got to pay attention to how you're navigating friendships and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
you know I think too, one of the reasons why especially in our church or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, my mom said, show me your company, I tell you who you are. We've heard
Mm-hmm.
this phrase in different ways. That is a
Yes.
fact. You can equally love everybody and not associate with people simply because of the friends that they keep. My friends are very, very, you pointing at yourself. Whoever I'm friends with, who you're friends with is important too. Because I can tell based upon who people associate with and what they're doing, that okay, this is not the kind of person that we're gonna mix well with.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I have seen that, and
Yeah.
I've tried to be the person where it's like, okay, let me give them a chance and
Right.
let me see
Yeah.
who they are, because they could really just have joined that new friend group and they don't know themselves what's going
Yeah.
on,
Very true.
and or they could be the one who is trying to lead them in a
Yeah.
better direction, a better light and stuff. But oftentimes, yeah,
Yeah.
they are like their friends.
Very
And
true.
it's like, okay. But at least I got to try and get to know the person themselves first before
Yeah.
just like hanging that on them, because I don't like doing that. I don't want people to do that to me. People done that to me.
Really.
Yes, because way back when, a few years ago, in my friend group.
Mhm.
First of all, my friend group, like when we're talking about church friend
Yeah.
group, we're talking about church friend group. First of all, half of it is me and my sisters, okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then the
Yes.
other half, that was a very special friendship
Yeah.
that blossomed, and that was similar
Yeah.
to what I was sharing about you,
Yeah.
how it was very difficult
Mhm.
to make friends as youth and stuff like
Very.
that. So,
And
like,
can I just
go ahead.
hold that? I was gonna say it's very difficult to make friends as youth because people keep playing this popular game thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm gonna touch that. I only got a few more minutes. But the popular game thing, we need to annihilate that. I mean, they're gonna do it, but that's one of the reasons why so many people block their blessings and
Mhm.
miss the greatest people in their lives. I'm not the greatest person in everybody's life. That's just the truth. I don't
Mhm.
want to be everybody's friend. I can't be everybody's friend. I'm flawed. You're flawed.
Mhm.
But I also don't respect somebody or people so much that I'm going to block my blessing from you because I want to run after that person or that person.
Mhm.
That's what people do. That's one of the leading reasons why us as youth across the board, young people, if you want to call it that, why we struggle to make genuine connections,
Mhm.
because we're not looking at people like what they can offer me as a friend.
Mhm.
We have like a laser focus on, I'm going after you. I'm
Mhm.
going after that person. So get out of my way. I've seen this since I was a child before we met till
Mhm.
now. It's the same repeated pattern. I've had kids in my class that I was cool with them, but the bullies or the popular kids will be kind of otherizing me, and then they would join in on the bandwagon. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you doing that to me? And I'm the
Do
one.
you know who I am?
Right. I'm your blessing. So it's
But
like,
you don't want to shoot. I'll take it.
right.
I'll
So
take me elsewhere.
yes, I hope I didn't derail from what you were saying earlier, but
Okay.
I just wanted to add that because I know where you got to go.
Mhm.
But go ahead, finish what you're saying.
But I was pretty much saying, like, it's like you can't really look at that, because it's like those are my close friends,
Right.
and the relationship that I have with all of them are very unique and individual, but we all go outside of it too.
Yes.
There's a lot more I could say on that
So
one,
much
but
more, but we're gonna cut it short. Thank you so much for being here with me.
thank
My
you.
friend.
Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode or video, and I appreciate you all for watching. Bye.